Hi everyone, Katee Sutton here, intuitive channel and founder of Zen Within Academy. I'm going to share with you your December energy update. We have three important themes this month. The first is all about flashes of clarity and confusion. The second is solar plexus activations. And the third is expanding your light. So stay tuned for the rest of the December 2020 energy update. Hey everyone, I hope you're having a good December so far, and I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving if you're here in the United States. I know many of you are going back to sheltering in place and preparing to step into the long winter months, and I know it might be a very different holiday season this year, so I'm just sending out love to each of you and holding you in my heart in the community here within Zen Within Academy. So the three themes that I want to share with you this month are very interrelated to one another. And before I drop into the themes, I just want to give a little bit of a reminder or a background on some things that happened in January that are coming to a close in December. So in the month of December, we have a lot of astrological transits, a lot of eclipses. We're in an eclipse portal the first couple of weeks of December. We have the winter solstice. There's a lot of stuff going on energetically. And there was a chapter that was opened in January of 2020, the beginning of this year, where the solar plexus energy center of the earth at Uluru in Australia was activated into a higher light. And I remember that day very distinctly because I was actually leading a workshop here in the United States with a group of about 40 people pre-COVID. And what came through in that day was an immense amount of light, literally sunlight, coming in from the sun itself, bathing the earth. And what I noticed is that everybody in that workshop, they moved through a transformation, an opening in their solar plexus. And so what I have been seeing in my meditations and receiving from my guides is that we're going to close out that chapter and complete that process on December 21st. And you can think of this as activating the energetic umbilical cord of the earth with its direct connection to the sun. And for those of you that don't know, the earth grounds into and receives light and healing energy from the sun, just like we do from the earth. And so this process is a co-creation, right? The earth is co-creating with our sun and we are co-creating with the earth, and this is a big cycle that's happening. And so a lot of the themes this month are going to be impacted by this activation that's coming and all these light codes and DNA upgrades that are coming in the month of December. And in November, you might have noticed that we had a lot of themes about the physical body and the physical vessel. And that was because we were making space and clearing and getting ready for the upgrades that are coming in the month of December. Overall, we have so much new light, new love, new energy coming in this month. And so I imagine that it's going to be kind of intense, perhaps intense in a really good way, but kind of intense. And so the first theme that I want to talk with you about is this kind of back and forth energy between clarity and confusion. And so what happens when we undergo an upgrade in our solar plexus is that we start to get more into our gut knowing, right? They call the gut the second brain. And so some of the light codes that are coming in, especially at the beginning of the month when we're in this 2-week eclipse portal, there's going to be a lot of illusion coming to the surface and a lot of deception clearing out. And we went through this earlier in the year as well. So this is a finishing out of that cycle in addition to the cycle that started in January with the solar plexus. And so what might happen for you this month is that you have flashes of clarity of, oh, I know exactly what my purpose is. I know what I'm supposed to be doing. I know what direction I'm supposed to head in. And then all of a sudden there's some confusion about the right next step to take. And that is your way of moving through this upgrade process in the solar plexus and taking in these new light codes that are activating our creative potential and then figuring out how you're going to work through that in 2021. So you can think of December as a bit of a preview of you're going to get little flashes of where you're headed, but you're not going to actually have all the resources available yet to make those changes. And so patience is a key. We're building off of the theme of presence that we had a couple of months ago, where we really need to pay attention to the inputs as they're coming in, make note of them, and know that the plans and the actions that need to be taken will come, but you're just getting a flash of insight, a flash of clarity It's going to allow you to know a bit of where you're headed. So for those of you that feel like you've been in the void and not sure where to go, expect some clarity to come in little pockets throughout the month of December. And if you have that clarity come in and then you try to take action too quickly, that's when the confusion is going to arise, because you're going to start to get signals from your body that you're pushing something. And remember, as we move into the age of Aquarius next year, it's not about pushing. It's about co-creating with spirit, co-creating with community. So that's the first theme. The second theme that I want to talk with you about is the solar plexus activations that are happening. So I talked a little bit about that in the first theme, but I want to go deeper into that. So some of you might have already started experiencing physical discomfort in your bellies, indigestion, feeling like you have a tight band around your diaphragm, having some difficulties digesting what's happening in the outside world, right? So there's a lot of things happening in the solar plexus. If you're not feeling it in the physical, you might be feeling it more in the energetic or emotional side through judgment, self-judgment especially, lack of confidence, and second guessing or doubting yourself. And so in order for us to be fully connected to our highest light, we have to drop into our gut and our gut knowing. And that has to be really activated and anchored before we go into next year, because as I've spoken about for the last several months, the timeline split, the gap between the two realities that are happening at once, between being in joy and grace and being in struggle, is getting wider. And so it's going to be even more important for us to be in our discernment, in our gut knowing, in our truth, in our power as we move into 2021, so that the realities that we want to create for ourselves can actually be anchored. We forget that we are powerful beings and that we are here to create. And so the solar plexus activation that's happening for the earth is also going to be happening for us. And so on December 21st, when that comes online, you can expect that the solar plexus within your body will have activated to a new degree. And that some things that you were lacking confidence in, all of a sudden you're ready to propel those forward. And that energy will take you into January, when you could begin to take those action steps and they start to land as more clarity comes in. So that's the solar plexus theme that we have this month. Lots of activations. Take really good care of your gut. Pay attention to your diet. I have even been bringing in the frequency of aloe vera into my meditation practices to just soothe that whole part of my body and really create space within my gut to allow more of this light to anchor. And so if you get called to do a fast or something that doesn't really align with your holiday plans, I'm inviting you to just trust that, right? Because trusting the process was a theme last month. And so whatever intuitive knowings you have about what your body needs and what your solar plexus needs, even if that's setting a boundary with somebody so that you can have some space to step into your truth again, listen, pay attention, be in that space of presence. So the third theme that I want to talk with you about is probably our most important theme of the month, and it's called expanding your light. And when I ask my team what that really means, they kind of shared with me that it's this idea that once we move through the solar plexus upgrades and activations, we're going to have access to more of our own personal light, our own personal power. And so the way that we expand that light out into the world is going to start to take shape in a deeper way this month. And so kind of tied into that first theme, you're going to have flashes of clarity of, oh, this is what my purpose is here. This is how I can create change on this planet. This is what I can do. This is how I can show up in my purpose. And so that idea of expanding your light and allowing your energy field to take up space, and you taking up space within your own life, within your own community, is going to get really, really important this month. And so that might look like you speaking up when you would have not spoken up. It might look like somebody challenging your idea or your ideals or values, and you standing in your truth and appreciating their perspective, but not changing your perspective or your own narrative to fit what they need. And this is going to create a little friction, right? Because we're coming into the holidays and some of you are going to be around family members, and in the past, you might have just acquiesced and done what they wanted. You might have maybe even stepped into guilt and taken actions or done things that weren't in alignment with you, or said things that weren't in alignment with you. It may be harder to swallow that this month. Right? You might need to spend a little bit more time getting really clear on what your ideals are before you even go to these gatherings, right? If you have gatherings, or even if you're just meeting on Zoom with your family, really stepping into your truth before you put yourself into a situation where you know you're going to be challenged. And so it will be important to come back to your center, come back home to yourself over and over and over again throughout the month of December. As your light expands energetically in terms of what you're giving out to the world and how you're showing up in your truth, know that concurrent to that, the other part of this theme is that there's actually more light that's going to be coming into your body. We're going to be receiving light codes and downloads and upgrades this month. And, some of you are very sensitive to that. You move through a lot of stuff in your body because of it. So expect that when you go through this expansion process, that some stuff's going to have to go. Some things in your life might need to be shifted out. Some patterns or ways of eating or different behaviors where you're not taking care of your body are going to have to be shifted out, because as more light comes in, it needs more space to take hold. And so this is a part of a larger process that's going to continue throughout 2021, which is the expansion of our living light body. And so for some of my advanced students, I've been talking with you all about this for a while, that this light body that we're going to step into at some point when we leave fully the fourth density and move into the fifth dimensional realm, that's being built, right? And you can think of the living light body as it exists now as kind of like your field, right? Your energy field. It exists just beyond your physical container. And it is being kind of built around you, almost like a template of what you're going to step into. And so some of you are going to feel like you've just been newly birthed this month. And if you think about a baby who's just been born, it's a challenging thing, right? Because babies are very vulnerable. They need to be taken care of. They need to be supported. And so I want you to think of yourselves as you move through the month of December, especially the back half of December, that you're kind of being birthed from the cosmic womb. We've just been through, a good solid 9 months of being in this pressure cooker here in the United States, especially with COVID. And a lot of us have had major things be unearthed, major traumas come to the surface. We've done shadow work. We've done a whole bunch of work to get inward this year. And this month, that's going to kind of all come to a head. And we're going to be birthed out of the cosmic womb in preparation to take our first steps into 2021 in this new Aquarian age that is coming in January. And so be gentle. Be really gentle with yourselves. And if you find that you need more sleep, more rest, you need to take more time for yourselves, honor that. Pay really close attention to what you need so that you can move forward in this newness without having to shut yourself back down again to protect. So some of the things that are going to happen as these light codes come in is that we're going to get blasted open. Like some of us are going to have major heart openings this month. Some of us, our throat chakras are going to open up in addition to what's happening in the solar plexus. And it's going to be a little wobbly, right, when all of that comes in. And so give yourself the grace of extra time and extra care so that you can fully receive, and not just receive, but fully integrate everything that's coming this month. This is a big deal, right? What is coming in December is a really big deal. And it's preparing us for what's coming next year as we step into this new age. So pay attention to what you need. I can't stress that enough. Pay really close attention to what you need. And if you find that there are people in your life that are challenging you more than they used to, just know that they're moving through this process too. They may not realize that they're getting a whole bunch of upgrades to their solar plexus, and that's making them want to exert their power. So try to be patient with those around you too, because they're also going to go through this process, even if they're not on the spiritual path, right? Everybody's on the spiritual path, whether you like it or not. Everybody's ascending. Some people are choosing to do it in a really traditional way, and other people are going about it in a very different spiritually driven way, but everybody's ascending. Everybody's going to feel this. And so it's going to create a little tension, a little chaos energy. So be patient with those around you as well. But don't get involved in their process. I talk about that a lot. And don't allow their process to overwhelm you. So if you need to take that space, honor it. So a few really important things, pay close attention to yourselves this month. And on that note, my healing circle this month will be on expanding your light. It'll be on Wednesday, December 16th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And The purpose of that healing circle is really to help you expand your living light body to bring these codes in so that you can fully embody them. And we'll be probably moving through some stuff related to the solar plexus there as well, since that's going to be another big theme. So look out for that in the comment section below this video. And then one day later, it's going to be a busy week, on December 17th, I'm pairing up with my good friend Katee, who is an astrologer, and we're going to give you both an energetic preview from my standpoint and an astrological preview of 2021. And my purpose of this is not to, put too much energy into future thinking, but I do want you all to get excited about what's coming and to kind of have a heads up on some of the themes, because quite honestly, it's going to be an interesting time. We're going to have so much new energy coming in that's so outside of the box compared to what we've had in the past. And it's going to be a little interesting for people to try to receive that and make sense of it. I think that's why we're going through this big gut upgrade this month, so that as that energy comes in, we can better interpret it and understand it and discern what's right for us and what's not. So a lot of really important themes, maybe even an activation, is going to come through in that course, or in that class rather, on December 17th. So I'll put details about that as well in the comments below this video. I hope you all have an amazing December. I hope you have an amazing holiday season. I know it's different, but I think different is good. I think because this whole year has been so different, it's preparing us for the oddness that's going to start coming in 2021, where everybody's thinking very differently and things outside the box are happening. So just know that you are supported, you are loved, you are worthy, right? I always come back to that as a theme. You are worthy. So thanks for watching. I hope you have a great month, and I will see you in 2021.